Hey, hello everyone, welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar, Tim Vicious, and well, again, it's that time, pay-per-view review, and it's on Battleground, and before I even go and start shooting on the matches, I just want to say straight up that I was fairly disappointed with the pay-per-view in general. It felt like I was watching a WCW pay-per-view. Not a knock against any of the people that were competing on the matches themselves, but none of them, it didn't feel like any of them gave that extra, little bit to give that, to say, okay, yeah, this is a pay-per-view, I'm on a match, this is my chance to really show and earn my mark. You know? It just felt like they were like, okay, it's just a typical Sunday night pay-per-view. I'm here to do my match. Who am I fighting? Okay, how's it supposed to go down? Okay. And that was it. Now, I didn't catch the pre-show. I never do, because once the time the pre-show always starts, I'm on my way to the place to go and watch it. So, anyways, on with the match. First match of the night. They say hardcore match, RVD versus Del Rio for the title. I did not see this as a hardcore match. I saw this as a no disqualification match. And before you all start blasting me saying, oh, there's no big difference. No, there is. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me right here, right now. I grew up in the original ECW. I have seen hardcore. Hardcore does not mean how many shots to the head you can take with a chair, how many times you can get put through a table, how much barbed wire you get put through. No, that is not what hardcore means. What hardcore means is, despite all those shots to the head you took, despite all those tables you got put through, and all that barbed wire you got ripped into, and how many times you got ripped open from that barbed wire, you got up and you kept asking for more. That is why I give the guys that are in CZW, Combat Zone, a hell of a lot of credit. Now I know there are dudes that have to go through special training in their school for the tube matches and shit. That's why I never once knocked CZW for anything. Now aside from that, they also have wrestlers that will actually wrestle. Now it's not a knock on RVD or Del Rio, because Del Rio is a fantastic wrestler. He just got handed a bad gimmick. But to say this was a hardcore match is an insult to any wrestling fan that says they like hardcore matches. And it's not a knock on WWE saying that they're trying to get the hardcore base. Because even though they were trying to, they failed miserably, the fact that they were even attempting to try is more than enough for them to say, okay, you guys gave it your shot, I'll give you that. Not to say I liked it, but I'll give you that. You tried. Anyways, the match, it didn't have that hardcore feel. It felt like they were trying to push like a no disqualification or an Extreme Rules match. You know? I mean, you circled outside of the ring for the fight, and the most you used was a ladder, a chair. Ladder, a chair, and I believe, if memory best serves, a trash can. One of the high parts in the match for me, one of the coolest parts in the match for me was seeing RVD do the roll to try and do a kick on the Del Rio. He landed on the ladder with, and this quoting JR, with cat-like agility, and to jump off the ladder, catch Del Rio with a heel kick, and seeing Ricardo come out, seeing Ricardo pull a bucket out and hit him. Which case, all I could think is, the bucket's back! Other than that, didn't like it. I wasn't a big fan of the finish either, having Del Rio use a chair to put extra pressure on as an arm breaker, you know, on the cross arm breaker. But yeah, that's me though. You know, I mean, I'm used to seeing a lot heavier hitting going down in hardcore matches, but like I said, that's me, that's what I'm used to. you know, whatever. Next up, they had the match that they literally announced that very day, and it wound up getting blown up all over the dirt sheets and shit. It got put on there because Santino Marella and Khali, the rejects from The Hills Have Eyes, versus the real Americans, Swagger and Cesaro. And on an unrelated note, I'm pretty sure since Hogan's no longer working with TNA, that means now we could start seeing Swagger and Cesaro come out the Hulk Hogan's old school theme music. Because I will honestly absolutely love it if they come out to having Real American come out as their music. And I think that would be phenomenal. But anyways, that match, honestly, I just saw that as a bathroom break match. And I literally did. I was out hitting the bathroom for 99.9% of the time I was there. Don't judge me either, because even though I know that was a fairly good amount of time for a match, I wound up having a lot of coffee and soda before that match happened. Okay? Anyways, I came back just in time to see Cesaro do the swing, which I thought was pretty impressive. I still stand by the idea of push Cesaro. The man's got the third longest U.S. title reign in WWE history. I'm not talking title history, but in WWE history. The man deserves a push. He's obviously got good skills. He can work a mic himself. When he was doing that, when he was U.S. champion, and he was pushing with the whole, he was the Swiss U.S. champion, no American can beat me thing was really good. When he was, I am here fighting for America, it was good. And then when he lost the title, you know, coming out in that varsity jacket with the glasses and the beret, that was good. But now you got him, yeah, I still think he deserves a better push. You know, you don't have to make him a champion. You don't have to make him a top-tier guy right away. You know, make him earn his mark just like everyone else does. Just like everyone else did. You know, because if you don't have him earn his mark in there, you're going to wind up getting another Brock Lesnar. Because look what happened with him. You know, kid was 25, he got put into a main event spot right off bat, and now he's got an ego the size of the fucking Chrysler building. Anyways, match was good. I can't even say the match was good. I didn't even really see it. But the Cesaro swing was really cool. I liked that. He did like 10 or 20 spins. Didn't even show he was freaking dizzy. Went down, pinned Khali, got the win. I was actually shocked on that because, well, I'm pretty sure they were going from the Real Americans to the Real Jobbers. But now that they're giving them a win, I'm pretty sure that they're starting to move them up. Hopefully we'll see them in a feud with Primo and Epico. I mean, Los Matadors. And I refuse to do the Olay chants because that's what El Generico's was. But, moving along. Next match, Intercontinental match. R-Truth versus Curtis Axel. You know, I really thought Truth was going to win that. And because they had him, because ever since they did the Truth, when's the last time you were in a championship run? You know, he's been building momentum and momentum and momentum. And now all of a sudden he came to a screeching halt. That night, I'm happy on that. And it's not to say that I'm against R-Truth because he's a pretty good wrestler. I'm just not a fan of that gimmick. You know, with the whole, you know, coming out, doing the rapping, doing the what's up shit. You know? And it's, yeah, but then again, I grew up as a dirty little street punk, so what do you expect? Axel got the win. It was just from a neck breaker, though. That's what got me. I just looked, I was like, y'all had a half-decent match, and then you're just going to do it? You just walk right up to him, grab him, and then, boom, neck breaker? I mean, hell, why not at the very least go and do like a perfect plex or something? It just seemed like that would have been more fitting. You know, especially seeing as on how that, now that they're pushing that him and his dad, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, are the only father or son to ever hold the same title. But Next up, they had the women's match, which, honestly, that was just something that just looked like something that should have never happened. You know, and I know everyone's ripping on AJ and Tamina like, oh yeah, it's like Shawn and Diesel. You know what? No fucking duh.
Just stop the recording.
I mean, hell, just looking on how she's dressed, that makes sense, don't it? Anyways, match wasn't really all that impressive. It was very, very ugly, very sloppy. You know, and I know they were reporting that AJ wound up having concussion-like symptoms that Monday, so, you know, that would explain why she wasn't there. She took a hard bump on a turnbuckle that Sunday night. The thing that wound up really getting me was the fact that they had Tamina grab the other Bella, and the one that was fighting AJ was like, you can't, yeah. You know, all that happy honky-dory horse shit, and then AJ just get a roll-up. Really? Ugh. You know, next up they had Cody Goldust versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins from the Shield. That was the match I was looking forward to more than anything else in the show, because I've been a Goldust fan since I seen him on the scene, since I first seen him. You know, just because he's always had that weird kind of creepy bit. And the more I got into him, the more I saw on how he worked, and I was just really impressed with on how he moves. You know? And that and seeing Goldust with the Darth Goldust with like the Sith face paint. Ah, that was so cool. Anyways, it was a good match, a lot of good high spots. I flipped out the second I saw Dusty go and hit, when I thought Dutha Rose go and throw out that bionic elbow right on Dean Ambrose. You know, that, and he wound up whipping him like a little whippy boy. You know, with the belt. That was really good. It was a beautiful finish with Cody hitting the crossroads and seeing him yell and screaming at the top of his lungs. That just, if you look at the psychology and the storyline as far as what that part goes, that just shows that he was putting every little bit of ounce of his heart and soul into that shot, saying, okay, this is going to be my kill shot, and if I can't win off of this, I'm not going to be able to win, period. I was impressed seeing that, and seeing Goldust go and do a crossbody from the top rope right out of nowhere. It's not to say that not to say I've never seen him do that. That's the first time I've seen in memory that I seen him do a high risk move like that. You know, but I was also impressed with seeing everyone. I was also happy to see everyone come out from the locker room to come and see them. You know, and I wound up seeing IRS as part of the group of people that were congratulating him. That were congratulating them for winning. So that was really cool. Anyways, next match they had was Kofi versus Bray Wyatt, which, you know, it was fairly okay. It was good. You know, Kofi, I should say, I think he should be put in a World Heavyweight Championship chase just to give him credibility as a star. But, you know, why they're just having him be forced to eat shit at plate after shit, you know, is beyond me. That the coolest part of the match between Wyatt and Kofi had to be when Bray wound up doing that freaking creepy ass exorcist walk, you know. In which case, all I could think is some dad wound up saying, "Oh, it's PG, it's okay. There's nothing to get the kids worried about with that." And then next thing you know, you see that, and the kid's just like, ah! That right there, fucking creepy ass shit. I loved it. And Wyatt's hands down best character-driven wrestlers in WWE right now, hands down. Y'all want to say something otherwise? By all means, go ahead. Go ahead. Say something to me. Don't do it on here on YouTube, because I'm horrible at talking on here, hit me up on Twitter on that and argue with me on that, because I absolutely love on how the Wyatts are character driven. You know? But next match they had after that was the Ryback versus Punk match. You know, they showed the promo for that on how everything's been building up and the animosity, and Ryback saying he doesn't like bullies. You know, it's obvious they're trying to do that to try and steer clear of him with doing that bully factor he was before. And yeah. Anyways, the match I wasn't that impressed with. Punk, I felt sorry for Punk and Paul Heyman, because them two had to carry that match more than anything. You know? I mean, and just right out of nowhere, having Heyman grab a mic, saying he's the best in the world, you know, just during the match itself, it felt unneeded. You know, I mean, if he'd have done that at the beginning, when Ryback was coming down, or when Ryback was already in the ring, that would have made a hell of a lot more sense. But the fact that you did it during the match, you know, ugh. Anyways, that and the fact that Punk won because of a low blow. He did a mule kick to Ryback and then wound up getting a win off of that. It just felt like it diminished his sense of fighting him, you know? I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm a dirty fighter, and if I'm in a legit fist fight, you know, I'll do whatever I gotta to win. But you know, with that, Anyways, final match of the night: Daniel Bryan versus Randy for the vacant WWE title. Biggest part that flipped me out on that match was right in the middle of the promo. Technical difficulties. So, all I can say is, stop having Sin Cara work the damn production truck. He botches in the ring. He can't cut a promo because he's not very good at speaking English. He either speaks very little or broken English. And now you got him doing the production shit, and look what happens. Yeah. Guaranteed if they still had Jack Tunney being present, this would have never happened. I thought it was WCW Halloween. I thought it was Halloween Havoc all over again when that happened. You know? But surprisingly, they were still able to finish the match and everything within reasonable time before the show was set to end. You know, but the match itself, it was pretty good, you know? I'd like to see them go more heavy hitting, more high, not high risk moves, but more hard hitting moves instead of just some technical moves, some brawling, some tossing each other around, you know? I mean, it was nice seeing everything going on with it. Yeah, especially with Bryan doing a corner-to-corner drop kick, you know, running from corner A, drop kicking Orton in corner B, things like that. I wasn't happy with the finish. That felt like it was a finish that you'd have expected on Monday Night Raw. That was not good at all, because the referee took a bump, you know, atypical thing. Next thing you know, you get a new ref to come down and do the pin. You figure you get that happen, and then they say that wasn't the actual official that was set to officiate that match, therefore that win is invalid or whatever. You could expect something like that. But instead, you get Scott Armstrong coming back down, which now everyone's like, oh my God, he's back! He was never fired to begin with. So Cole, Lawler, shut the fuck up on that. Anyways, next thing you know, you get Big Show coming down, in which case, for the love of God, please stop playing music when you have run-ins like that. Because you're killed the surprise of the fact that somebody's doing a run-in. You know? I don't like that idea because it takes away from it. Because the second you hear the music, you're like, oh, hey, look who's there. You know, as opposed to all the cameras focusing on the ring itself and the action going in there. And then next thing you know, have the star running down the ramp, going to the ring, and just hearing the crowd cheer, and then the announcers say, hey, wait, what's going on? look, it's, and then have the camera pan and view and then you see the person. That would make more sense. Anyways, show knocks out Armstrong, or not Armstrong, or yeah, I think, I'm running on a cup and a half of coffee, so my brain's kind of on half, my brain's only half working right now. I remember part of it right now because my brain ain't fully functioning. Anyways, Armstrong wound up taking a bump. I'm 99% sure it was from Show. Then Show decked Orton because Maddox told him to. And then Show decked Bryan because Maddox told him to. And then Show decked Orton. And then everyone's just like, well, what happened? What does this mean? And then Show's just like, yeah, standing there victorious. Like he's victorious. Really? Yeah, that's real smart. Have the guy that ruined the main event be the one that's standing there like he's the king of the castle. You know, I mean, we all knew this was going to lead to there was going to be a new match that was led to Hell in a Cell, but you guys could have done it so much better. I mean, for the love of God, you could have had you could have had like Bryan win, and then next thing you know, have them say, we're not going to strip you of it. I have them on Monday say, we're not going to strip you of the title like we did before, but due to the way you did win, we will be forced to now do a rematch between you and Randy at Hell in a Cell in a Hell in a Cell match so no one can interfere. You know, or something like that. That would have made so much more sense. You know? Or even yet, since you want to throw Big Show into the mix, you can have you can have them say that Show is going to be the guest referee and have them force him to say that, and have Steph or Tripp say he is forced to call it down the middle and not show favoritism to one end or the other, or he will be fired. And if they feel that he'll be fired. That would be a hell of a lot better, but instead they didn't, and I can't figure out for the life of me where the hell they went wrong. They had so much good momentum building up. All the way, going from, it was all summer they were doing good, and then it was like right after SummerSlam they started to slowly go downward, and then when Night of Champions hit, it was just, oh man, I can't figure it out. I mean, this is the last quarter of their business year. This when it's literally do or die. So put every little bit that you can out there to make yourself look like you guys are the shit. You know, and instead of making yourselves look like you are, you're just. Anyways, I'm not going to get into this because I can go on for hours and I ain't going to wind up chewing up all your time for that. So, that's all the time I'm going to wrap it up here. So like normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Look for my backup one too, because sometimes Twitter decides to be an asshole and throw me in Twitter jail. Tim_Vicious. And also, don't forget, check out all these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. KCat26, my brother from another mother, James Steele, JX2001, That Roxy Girl, _It's V Bitch, James, Roxy, and Vicky all have their own YouTube channels. Make sure y'all check them out. Mucky Mars, Helen Robinson 82, Meow_Cakes, Jerry Suriano, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole, Stacy Impact W Fan, Legion Lady Aaron, Legion of Nerds. Also, don't forget to check out Axel Mulligan on Twitter. He does blogs on the pay-per-views, Raws, SmackDowns. Guy's a hell of a good guy's very well-educated wrestling fan. He can know me and him. We have good conversations back and forth all the time on this stuff. And in the event I forgot anyone, just when you're on Twitter, just make sure you look for me and follow everyone that I do because they're all badass. All right. Like I keep telling you, y'all love me great. You hate me. Fuck you.